Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your WWE Clash of Champions 2017 preview and predictions. We have got 7 matches to talk about tonight, one of which is pre-show, so we can kind of toss that aside and call it a 6-match card. John, how are you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling, you know what, dude? I'm going to be honest. I'm looking forward to this show, so I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer. Did WWE kind of shoot themselves in the foot a little bit with this whole mixed match challenge thing that they're doing? Yeah, because they had a really solid looking main event, and I feel like they kind of gave it away a bit. But maybe it's not so much about the match, but about the angle. Ooh, so we'll kind of talk about that a little later. So you know what? I know what I told you yesterday because we talked a little bit about this, but I'm feeling good. It was. I'll say that I'm at a solid 7 out of 10 for this show. That's put out something fun. What do you think?
Do you know what's really hilarious? I think you and I might share a brain at this point, because when you were saying yesterday about how, I was at a 7, all I could think of was, yeah, I've been pretty much at a 6 this whole time. And then you said, but this thing that happened knocked me down to a 6. And I was like, oh, so we just have the same idea now. And now I'm looking at the card, and there are only 2 matches on this card that I genuinely could not possibly give fewer shits about. And there are, I'll say 2 matches on this card that I'm kind of interested in and might be able to get into. And there are 3 matches on this card that I'm genuinely into and interested in and hope will be good. So if you want, right into the pre-show and start talking about this. And if you want a number, I was also at a 7, and that's why I said we had the same brain.
Awesome. Let's get right into this, man. I'm glad to see we got a nice house here for preview and predictions because we got quite a bit to talk about.
All right, one of the 2 matches that I'm kind of into and might actually be pretty entertaining, pre-show, Zack Ryder, Mojo Rawley, the recently broken up Hype Bros, going one-on-one. I honestly, this really does remind me of when the Primetime Players broke up and went one-on-one, and do you remember the result of that?
It was a very bad match, but I do remember Titus got the win, so the heel member of the team did win. And I'm thinking a similar trend will happen here. There's only one thing I want to say about this match, Ashton, and then I'll give you the floor. Mojo has done on his own accord like 2 promos, one of them at the Performance Center, maybe the other one at the Performance Center, and they've both, in my opinion, have been genuinely good. Like, I know I've talked about him with Jarveris and Asia and others, and we're all like kind of astounded that Mojo's gotten this personality all of a sudden, which maybe shows the creative autonomy can do some good for even some of the worst acts. The whole thread there on Mojo's end is that Zack doesn't have any killer instinct. I just got done actually watching his latest promo, and he said even at your best, you had no killer instinct, and he referenced how he won the IC title at WrestleMania, but he lost it 24 hours later, and he allowed his father to get slapped in the process. Mojo said, if Maurice would have done that to my father, I wouldn't have stopped until she no longer had a husband. And so, you know, Mojo's kind of breathing that fire a little bit. I think he will get the win, and honestly, you know I jokingly said to you, and I still mean it as a joke, that 2019, or really 2018, excuse me, would be a huge year for Mojo. And now it's still a joke, but now I may believe it even more because if he keeps delivering this kind of stuff as a heel, they may want to get behind him. I mean, he may be like the next big pet project, like, oh, let's throw a title on him and see how he does.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, I think that we can say with confidence, based on everything that we've seen, all the evidence that's been presented with us so far, the WWE has no interest in pushing Zack Ryder whatsoever.
Absolutely not.
But with Mojo, I can't say that same thing with as much confidence. So I'm also picking Mojo Rawley to win here.
Yeah, I agree with you. And again, I'm going to call my shot early. I think this is the beginning. Well, I mean, even though we're still in 2017, it's going to lay the foundation for what could be a very promising 2018 for Mojo Rawley.
I mean, to be fair, he had a pretty promising 2017 as well. He won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. He broke up with Zack Ryder, and he's about to get his first singles pay-per-view win on Sunday.
I'd keep an eye out on him. And you know what? It's funny. Like, I'm saying all this, and it's not even like that sarcastic, like, ooh, that hurt to say, because maybe it won't be so bad.
Hey, man, quality work is quality work, no matter what the source.
Exactly. And there it is. Let's move on.
All right, let's get into our first main show match. And the weird thing about the main show is there are 6 matches. 4 of those are championship matches. And of the 2 that are non-title matches, one of them is probably main eventing this show. So that really only left 1 match for us to start with, for us to kind of jerk the main show curtain with, in a sense. And that is Breezango versus the Bludgeon Brothers. And let me tell you, before you even attempt to start talking here, I love the Bludgeon Brothers, and I am picking them to win. But this is also one of the matches that I think is going to be genuinely entertaining, and I am looking forward to this quite a bit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, Breezango. Do I think the fashion files have gotten a little played out for me personally? Yes, but that is not indicative of how I feel about either of these performers. I think Breeze is great, and I think Fandango is excellent.
Oh, the talent in the tag team, both individuals as performers, exceptional. Two of, I would argue, the most underrated performers in WWE today. And they're in a comedy gimmick and they're making it work. And they're both genuinely good in-ring workers too. So this match to me, as long as this isn't another like 30-second squash, like what the Bludgeon Brothers have been doing to local jobber teams on SmackDown lately, I think this match has the potential to be really, really entertaining.
Just to kind of play off of what you said about the Bludgeon Brothers, I too love them. Now, is there part of me that's like, man, Luke Harper and a tag team again? Yeah, only because I really enjoyed his brief babyface singles run, because I think it showed us so much what he's capable of. But you know what? This Bludgeon Brothers incarnation of Harper and Rowan is probably the best they've ever looked to me. And just as a quick little side note, their theme got released recently by WWE Music.
I love it.
I personally love it more than Undisputed Era's theme.
I agree with you there. Like, the Undisputed Era's theme is solid, but all it really does is make me want to find Adam Cole's ROH theme song and play it on repeat all day.
I feel like with the Bludgeon Brothers, I don't know why, because I'm not even a big fan of this genre, but I feel like it's the kind of music you hear at like an epic or climactic moment in like an RPG or something. Like, I just got that vibe. I don't know. It's really, really good to me. And yeah, I do think they're going to win, but I agree with you. I hope it's a more competitive match, and I'll go one step farther. I think these guys hopefully, finally in 2018 can become tag team champions, because I know Harper did get the 1-1 with Randy Orton and stuff, but him and Rowan have been the established tag team and they've never done it together. So I think as the Bludgeon Brothers, that may finally be the key to getting that tag team gold. I think it could be one hell of a reign. So yeah, Bludgeon Brothers for the win.
Absolutely, yeah. They've been so entertaining. People are saying maybe the Ascension is behind this. I don't necessarily think that, but it's worth noting. I really do feel like the Bludgeon Brothers are gonna kind of be to the main roster what Ascension was to NXT. They're meant to be heels. They're meant to be these killers that everyone's scared of and intimidated by, but they're so entertaining and they're so good that they're absolutely inevitably gonna end up getting cheered. And hopefully the WWE notices when that happens and pulls the trigger on a face turn, because we might have the next big thing as far as, big star like babyface tag teams go.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that assessment. I think I've run out of things to say about this match, so we can move on.
All right, second match of the main show, and the match that I care less about than the grass growing outside my house right now, and it's barely growing because it's covered in snow. Charlotte Flair versus Natalya again.
Yeah, there are only two
Lumberjill match too. It's a Lumberjill match.
There are only two elements at play here that make me even give one iota of attention to this match.
Okay, Riot Squad and
Carmella. Because
okay, yeah, because she'll be right there.
Exactly. So if Chaos breaks out, now I doubt that she'll cash in here, because if Chaos breaks out, she is going to be right there, which means that she's going to be swept up in it most likely. So not a
they could very easily do a little camera trick where they show all the Chaos in the ring, but then you see kind of behind all the Chaos, Carmella hugging her briefcase tight to her chest, watching as all this goes down, and when it clears out, she can swoop.
Yeah. It's... And I know this is kind of not related to the match, so I apologize, but like it's kind of a shame for Carmella, because I'm still a fan of the act, but you and I were even kind of talking about this yesterday. I feel like they've injured her in a way, because releasing Ellsworth, it's not a fatal blow to her by any means, but I thought they worked so well together. I loved it. I thought it was a great addition to have a male valet. She was like a female Edge, having the male valet, in her corner, helping her however is needed. And then Riot Squad that have been so good. Like, I love Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan have been great with her. You know, yes, they need work, but I mean, really, who doesn't with these call-ups? I think their synergy's been on point. I like that they bring a certain energy to SmackDown. And hell, Naomi looked great working off of them, so they're clearly bringing something out of the baby faces, and the baby faces are looking better. But what that leads me to is with the Riot Squad, I feel like some of that heat has been taken off of Carmella. So when she cashes in, I want it to be her own special moment, which doesn't mean that WWE wants the same thing. So is she going to cash in here? I'm going to say no, but it's always something to look out for. I expect Riot Squad to really inject some much needed life into this match because, again, they've been great. I adore them already. But as far as who wins, I think the big angle here is either Charlotte and Ruby or still Charlotte and Carmella, which we postulated before Riot Squad was even a thing. So
Right.
Charlotte retains.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's fair. I think my thing is with the Carmella cashing in prediction, to me, you're allowed to miss that once. You're allowed to, if you predict that one time and you miss it, you know, you were wrong. And if you want to take a second chance, you can, but it won't mean nearly as much. And I used my one at the last SmackDown pay-per-view. I don't even remember what it was called. Hell in a Cell?
I think it was Hell in a Cell, yes.
So that was when I officially predicted Carmella would cash in. And because of that, I feel like I could just say, yeah, she's cashing in at every pay-per-view, and it would mean nothing because I already said the one, I made my pick. I picked my spot, and I was wrong. So I'm kind of over trying to predict when she's going to cash in, but I do definitely think that there's a good shot that she will here.
Yeah, and I really honestly hope, because again, I love Ruby Riott, would love to see her with the SmackDown Women's Championship, especially as a heel. She's really been working that quite well. But Carmella really has put in the time. I still think she's great. It's not that she's regressed. It's just that I think there are other acts that have really taken priority over her, but I'd still like to see her get her run. So hopefully it's a successful cash in. But yeah, you're right. When you just look at these two women, Charlotte and Natalya, in a vacuum, you know, their best work was at that one takeover, and then I really haven't cared for a match since.
Yeah.
That's the same here. Riot Squad to me is the selling point, which is sad because they're not even directly involved. They're again
But
part
they
of
are, in a way, they are directly involved because they are literally the stipulation of the match.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So we'll see how everything shakes out, but I think Charlotte will come out of this. Hell, honestly, knowing that it's Charlotte, I would not be surprised if she walked into Mania with that championship, and we can start talking about it because Rumble's next month.
Yep.
So
Yeah, Mania is officially happening in less than 4 months, people.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. So I'm gonna pick Charlotte. You agreed with me, right? You picked Charlotte, or are you still?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm with you on Charlotte. But I just wanted to say one more thing about this. I wanted to point out we are now further away from August 1st than we are from WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about.
It's been more time between now and August 1st going back in the year than it will be between now and WrestleMania. How crazy is that?
Yeah, that's nuts, dude.
Yeah, we're further removed from G1 than we are from WrestleMania.
Jesus, yeah. My God.
Yeah. So, you know what, John? I want to apologize to you because I lied earlier.
Oh, about what exactly?
About the Charlotte Natalya match being the match I cared least about on this card. It's really close, and it's I really genuinely don't care about it, but it's not the worst. It's not the match I care the least about. The next one is Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Bobby Roode. Why is this angle still going on?
God, you know what's so sad, dude, is like even with Baron Corbin, who I like the most out of the three, that really still isn't saying much.
I feel like they've neutered Baron. I feel like he hasn't done anything interesting in months.
Yeah, and dude, I'm so glad you said it so I didn't have to, because like it really isn't his fault. I'm not actively against Corbin. It's just like, bruh, I'm bored with you now right now. Like that's really sad because I know you and I were the big guys like when he was first breaking in, like, oh, Baron's really good and this and that. And then you really, ever since he failed to cash in, I'm just like,
Yep.
you fucked him. You fucked
The
him.
aura is gone.
It is, dude. It is. Since you care the least about this, I'll just go first to kind of break the ice because I'm right there with you. To me, I really wanted to get excited for Baron having a championship, but WWE clearly isn't excited. So, I mean, his first feud was Sin Cara, for God's sakes, and I like Hunico, and I like him under the mask, but I mean, come on, it's Sin Cara. I say it a million times, you are what you're booked, and then all of a sudden I'm supposed to believe, like, he's in this program with Corbin? Yeah, whatever. I'm going to say that Corbin retained it, because honestly, this match is
because that's the easy pick. That's the boring pick. That's the pick that you make when you don't give a shit who wins, is that the champion retains.
And you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, I don't want to make it seem like I haven't put any effort into it. I mean, really, maybe you could say that Roode's going to win because he seems to have, like, upward momentum. I mean, Ziggler, to me, doesn't have a chance in hell. But then maybe WWE would use that argument like, aha!
Exactly, yeah, like the unpredictable choice. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Ziggler won.
Yeah, really, it's just the real loser in this is the United States Championship, because I really don't care who wins it for the sake of that title, which, again, I hate to be that guy, but when I think about the reigns that, like, John Cena had with it, I'm like, man, I wish we could have more consistent champions like that. I'm not saying every champion needs an open challenge, but at least give off the appearance of, like, if you're a heel, everybody's gunning for me. If you're a face, I'm gunning for everybody to prove I'm the best U.S. champion of all time.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I really haven't gotten that on either side, and particularly with Corbin being the heel. So it should be fun.
I mean, when your first title defense is against a guy like Sin Cara, who we enjoy as a performer, but we know has no shot in hell at actually winning the title, it's hard to get invested in that reign.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude, who am I going to go with here? Because I really do want to make a thoughtful choice here. And really, for me, I'm isolating Ziggler. I'm curious as hell to know who you're going to pick when I'm done here. You know what? You know what I'm going to say? I am going to stick with Corbin, but only because I do think the Corbin-Rude feud, like 1-to-1, will continue, but you need to cut the fat in Ziggler. So Ziggler's going to eat the pin here by Baron. Maybe Rude will hit the glorious DDT. Baron shoves Rude into the ring post and picks the scraps. And then we do Rude Corbin at Rumble for the U.S. title. And then maybe I'd pick Rude to win there, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I'll say Baron pin Ziggler, but Rude's not out of the picture. Now, who are you picking? I'm curious to know where your brain's at.
Oh, man. I think I'm just going to roll with Corbin just so that I don't have to think too hard about this shit show of a match.
All right. Fair enough. Let's
this is really, it is the one match on this card that I can't even force myself to pay attention to the TV when this angle is being shown on it. I just don't care.
I really don't either. Like, I go and I, like, watch the stuff on YouTube just so I keep my finger on the pulse, but it's not like, oh man, I'm so psyched for this, because I'm not. So yeah, I guess you're just rolling with me then that Corbin retains. So let's move on. And if you're more anticipating like this match, then I'll let you talk first so you can actually talk about something you're enthused about. So what's our next match?
Well, we kind of did this preview and predictions picket fence style, where you have some pretty good entertaining stuff to begin, and then you go down and you just talk about shit that you don't care about, and then you finish strong. Because our last three matches, I care about all three of them to some degree or another, and I really am looking forward to this next match, the four-way tag title match, the Usos defending against the New Day, Benjamin and Gable, and Rusev Day.
I want you to go first because I have a bit to say about this match, but I want you to talk about something you're enthused about because that last match was such a downer. So
I just love all four of the teams in this. This match is definitely going to steal the show. There's no doubt in my mind this is going to be the best match, most entertaining match on the card. I think that the Usos going into this with champion's advantage might be the X factor. They might retain because of that. But if any team does win the titles as like, oh my God, they've uncrowned the Usos, I think it's going to be a heelish win by Benjamin and Gable.
Yeah, and you've been saying that, so you're calling your shot. Then you're picking Benjamin and Gable to win. Is that like
I am? Yeah, I'm going to say. Well, let me put it this way. I think the most likely outcome is the Usos retain, but I'm not in the mood to pick the most likely outcome because of how passionate and excited I am for this match. So I'm going to go with Benjamin and Gable winning via heelish means.
Dude. Okay, now that you've said your piece, I wanted you to talk first because this is easily the match I'm looking forward to the most.
Right? It's going to be so good. I love all four of these teams so much. I want Rusev to Machka everyone.
Yeah, I mean, dude, let's break it down. You have Benjamin and Gable, who, if I'm being truthful, I probably care about them the least, but Gable on his Twitters has got this whole hashtag scratch and claw thing that I fucking love. I even tweeted, you need to put that shit on a shirt. And like when he's a babyface, that needs to be his mantra because I think that's hotcakes to me. So, and Benjamin, you know what though, being the veteran, it does work, and I can see the synergy with them, so that's fine. Usos, ever since they first became heel, and now they're walking that kind of edgy line, being more tweeners, I guess. They have been amazing. Their mic work has just been fire. So love them on the mic.
And you know what? Speaking of the mic work as it relates to the Usos, I love that Benjamin and Gable have been trying to keep up with them as rappers.
I know, right? It's freaking awesome.
Like, it's silly and it can be cringy at times, but it really does feel like in the same spirit as like 2001 Kurt Angle to me.
Yes, absolutely. New Day, you can never go wrong with them ever. And it's really gotten to the point now that they've stayed together so long that when they break up, I think it'll even take me by surprise. Because there was a time, like you were saying earlier with Carmella's Money in the Bank briefcase, that I'm like, okay, they're going to break up here, or they're going to break up here. And now I've just given up. So, and you know what, though? The act still works. I think it doesn't have the same momentum that they did when they were at their peak, but crowds are still really into them, and they're still great at what they do. They just got done an amazing feud with the Usos. So can't go wrong there. And then you get to Rusev Day. And again, like other acts, like I was saying with Luke Harper earlier, do I wish that Rusev was in singles, being WWE champion, getting what Jinder Mahal, got this year? Yes. But do I think he's landed on his feet quite well with this Rusev Day tag team with Aiden English? Yes. I love these two together. I think it's amazing. I love that Rusev is able to show personality. Let's just remind ourselves, because if you haven't figured it out by now, folks, and longtime listeners know this especially, I fucking adore Rusev. And when we talked about him in his early days in NXT, like, I thought he was just another, like, prototype of an Umaga type or something. Like, yeah, he'll be that great monster. I know we both kind of felt that way. But to know he has this personality, to know that he's funny as fuck and charismatic, and he just makes me smile every time he does something. And Aiden English, I've said this to you in conversation many times, I'm a fan of the dude, specifically in tag teams. I don't think he'll ever work in singles, but you give him a good partner, and Rusev is as great a partner as he's going to find.
Right.
He's great, and I think he thrives in that role. I wanted to pick Rusev Day so bad, but when they beat the Usos on the last SmackDown, I'm like, no, they're not winning, because they've won 2 matches straight against 2 top tag teams. Their first win was against the New Day. The second was against the Usos. I'm like, I love you guys, but you have way too much momentum. I don't think they're going to go with them. If they did go with them, I would mark the fuck out. It'd be amazing. I'd be so thrilled for Rusev in English. So that leaves New Day, Usos, Benjamin, and Gable. And you know what? Like you, I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I am going to agree with you. I am going to co-sign that I think Benjamin and Gable will probably actually win this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just a gut feeling, right? Like, it feels like it's their time. It feels like the Usos and New Day. I'm kind of getting over that program. I want Usos and Gable and Benjamin. Like, that's the program I want going forward right now.
I mean, because I'll be honest, here's how I come to my conclusion. And this is not to be conflated with that I think the New Day is breaking up soon. You guys already heard my thoughts on that. I'm no longer predicting it. But I think they're done winning tag team titles. I honestly don't see them having another reign. If they do, great. I just don't see it. Usos, I don't even know how long their reign's been going, but I think they need something to kind of spice things up. So I think a loss could actually benefit them more than hurt them at this point, especially if they do, as you say, Ashton and Benjamin and Gable win in a heelish style. Then you've got a great story. And props to Chad Gable, because I don't know if you saw this shit, and I'd be doing a disservice to Chad if I didn't mention this, because I don't know if you remember the segment when they had that one tag title match, I guess to see who was going to face the Bar at Survivor Series. And Gable did that sick chop block to one of the Usos. Well, he tweeted what goes around comes around, and he actually shared the gif of when the Usos turned heel and they savagely attacked Gable's leg. Like, continuity is a fucking beautiful thing, and I applaud Chad Gable for using that as a narrative device. Like, I took you out because I never forgot that you took me out.
That's huge. Yeah, and you know what? They could also, since they are already kind of using that continuity, I wouldn't be surprised if they continued using it to the degree that they could say, well, we saw that the Usos stopped caring about what the crowd thought of them and started trying to actually win and only caring about winning. And they're, 2-3-time champions now? So, of course, we wanted to emulate that, but we thought we could do it better.
Exactly. Dude, if you just give Chad Gable both, the pen and just allow him to work, so write this story and then work the story. I mean, because
just, you know what, just put him behind the camera too. Let's clone him so he can just be both behind and in front of the camera at the same time. Give him the pencil, let him do the in-ring work, let him agent his own match. Just give him everything.
I just love that this guy gives a fuck. Like, I love that he has the presence of mind to be like, oh, hey, rather than this looking like an isolated incident of me being a dick, you know what we could do with it? We can add narrative weight, because I'm like, oh, wait, guys, you love the Usos now, but did you forget what they did to me? And then, bam, like, you've got a freaking story there. So, the more I talk, the more I'm not only agreeing with you, I actually kind of hope it happens, because I think it's good for Benjamin and Gable. I think it's great for the New Day. I think it's great for the tag division. And then I do ultimately see the Usos winning the feud in the end, but then we could hopefully get to a really properly built up Bludgeon Brothers and go into that feud, which will also be money. So yeah, the future of the tag division is looking bright if you play your cards right. And I'm going to co-sign with you. I think that begins with a title change, and I am so stoked for this match.
Absolutely. Yeah. This was definitely the match that I really was excited to talk about. But I'm telling you, I'm a little bit less excited about the next one, but I'm a lot more excited about the main event than you are. So let's move on. We're both picking Benjamin and Gable. We're both picking everything so far we've agreed on. Styles Mahal. Do you think that they are going to have the balls to put that title back on Mahal?
Yes, I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off quickly as possible. Mahal is winning here, and you know what? I'm putting my balls on the table, man. Since you fielded it to me first, I'm just gonna finish my run with the ball. Okay?
Yeah, dude.
I think Mahal's winning here, because what have I been telling you in conversation, and what have I told some of you guys possibly on Twitter? I think, and I'm not gonna be dissuaded from it until WWE shows me otherwise with their booking.
Jinder versus Bobby.
Jinder versus Bobby was one thing, but you know what I've been saying even harder: Jinder versus Cena.
Cena, yeah, that's right.
Jinder versus Cena at Mania. I am convinced that is freaking happening, and I will not be unconvinced until, again, WWE shows me otherwise. I love AJ. I know what everybody wants. AJ Nakamura for the WWE title. But you know WWE is going to be cute. For all the matches that we'd say, oh, but that doesn't need the title, they'll put the title on it. And for all the matches we'd be like, oh, the title would be cool with this, they're not going to do it. I think AJ Nakamura is going to be a non-title match. It's just going to be a really well-built-up singles match, maybe number one contender possibly into whatever the next SmackDown pay-per-view is. I think the WWE Championship match, and you can hang me for this, except for Ella, I know who's probably elated right now, that AJ Mahal's going to regain the title. Do I want to be wrong? Of course. AJ is, I think, the hottest guy in the company right now. Great baby face. He's got the perfect amount of fire as champion. I think you've got a face to your brand. But, I think John Cena, he's really winding down. You see he's coming out with more films, and I think they want to give him the proper send-off for all the years he invested, because every top guy says that, he's had a run that wasn't comparable to their own simply just by time alone that he's put in there. I think they want to give him that 17th run. I think they want at least a solid enough heel in their mind to do it so that Cena can get a positive reception when he gets that run. And yeah, I'm calling it, man. I'm sorry. I think Cena Mahal's the WWE Championship match, which means Mahal wins here, which hurts me. Do I think it'll be a good match? Yes, because of AJ Styles. I've said before, Jinder's best match when he was champion was that match in the UK against AJ when he lost the title, because AJ knew how to sell the angle of Mahal being this powerhouse. And I could see a very similar story being told there. Oh, look at the freakish strength of Jinder, and AJ bumping like fucking crazy. So I think AJ will put another good match out of him. And I actually do have something I want to say about the Royal Rumble too, but I'm going to save that for the main event. But I do think Mahal ultimately is going to get the win. Now, let's get to the prediction that really matters. The man of sense and reason, my cohort and commentary here. What are you thinking about it? Are you going to pull the blade out of the back like I did? Or are you like, no, John, AJ's retaining?
No, you know what? Here's my thing. There are a few things that I feel very few things actually, that I feel 100% certain are going to happen at WrestleMania.
Okay.
Now, right now, the one and only thing that I am 100,000,000,000,000,000,000,000% confident is happening at WrestleMania 33 or 4?
4.
34.
Yeah.
Is Roman beating Brock for the title. That's it. That's the only thing that I know for sure is happening. And they could put a twist on that. They could add someone to it. They could add a guest referee to it. It could be Triple H. It could be Paul Heyman. I don't know. But that's the only thing that I'm ready to say that's happening. It's guaranteed. Here's my question to you, John.
Yes.
The WWE decides to do with Cena and Mahal the same thing they did with Cena and Rusev.
Oh, so
US title instead of WWE title.
that'd be so much better, because here's the thing. And you know what? It's funny, because to answer your question, you and I were even kind of talking about Jinder's place in the company when he lost the title at that UK show. Because we knew facing Triple H in India, which he lost that match. But I even said, I think it was me that said this, and if it was you that said it, then I'm sorry for, inappropriately taking credit. But like, we know that SmackDown sometimes with an act that they've really built up, they like to gradually demote them. So I think one of us may have mentioned a U.S. title rotation, and maybe it was you. So that would make sense. Like, if Mahal did lose here, they wouldn't demote him immediately to like losing to Heath Slater randomly on SmackDown. We're not there yet. U.S. title would seem like a great pocket for him. So yeah, dude, I can totally see where you're coming from with that.
So if that's the case, then maybe the WWE thinks to themselves, people have really hated the Royal Rumble for the last few years. Maybe just once, just this one time, we can give them a Royal Rumble winner that they didn't expect. And maybe it happens to be, I don't know, like a Kevin Owens or a Nakamura or someone interesting like that. Now, I'm not counting on that happening, because I never count on the WWE giving us what we want. Never. And it's like Paul Heyman said, the WWE will give you anything you want except for the thing you want most. And people want AJ Nakamura more than anything. So I highly, highly, highly doubt that's going to be the Mania main event, the SmackDown side. So I'm just going to put the kibosh on that right now. I don't think that's happening. But what I do think could happen is AJ defending against one or more people, and I think AJ's keeping it. I think that they see the money that AJ Styles is helping them to make, more so than what they were making with Jinder. Jinder killed their ratings, killed their house show attendance. AJ Styles as your champion, all that stuff is up. So to me, AJ Styles really is the third biggest name in the company as far as you put their name on a marquee and people will pay money to go see them, behind only Cena and Lesnar. And I think that they're beginning to realize that too. And for that reason, I think they're going to keep the title on AJ. I think that he will retain.
The only thing I want to say very quickly, like I agree with you 100%, so I'm not playing devil's advocate about that. But when we think about WrestleMania, the only thing that gives me hope, because I agree with you about Reigns Brock, like that's happening. It's not that I'm just waiting myself that isn't happening. But what I'm hoping is maybe they don't need the Royal Rumble as a vehicle. And I only say that because Elimination Chamber is a Raw pay-per-view.
Right.
So they'll use that instead, and they will give SmackDown the vehicle of the Rumble. But they did that last year because Orton won.
Yeah.
So a Raw guy could be due, and that's where I get frustrated, because you could very easily do a six-man chamber. Winner gets a Universal title match. Of course, Roman wins that. I think it could actually be a really good chamber match, so I almost wish they would do that. But Rumble may...
Oh, yeah, that would be friggin' awesome. You get Roman, Seth, Dean, Samoa Joe, Strowman, and Balor.
Yeah, exactly. So that is one thing. I'm not trying to dissuade people that Roman Brock's happening. It's happening. My question is, what's the vehicle they're going to use to get there?
Yeah.
You have Chamber and you have Rumble. And to be honest, I hope they use Chamber. I want to like Royal Rumble. I want to be stoked for it. I can't get stoked for it, though, because I feel like Ace the Skylord's the one that's always like, Roman's winning the Rumble, guys. In fact, at the beginning of 2018, he's going to be like, Roman's winning the Rumble, guys. 2019, he's going to get that shit in early. So I don't know, but I loved everything you were saying there about AJ keeping it and just having a different title match than potentially Nakamura. And by the way, I am not opposed to Nakamura winning the Rumble at all. I think that would get over as fuck.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would be awesome, but think about it. It's WWE.
I know it is WWE, but I am also thinking Chamber's a Raw pay-per-view, and that one kernel of hope is going to be the death of me. I swear to fuck. So yeah, we're on different sides of this, but I really hope you're right in this case. I really do, because I think AJ is champion. You're absolutely right in everything you're saying. The crowd's more into him. even when he came into the company, like how show attendance was up. I mean, and I could believe this to be true. What's the one thing that we always say? Like Vince even said, I wish I would have signed this man 10 years ago. And now that he's got AJ in this spot, in this pocket, I want to believe that Vince isn't going to give it up. I want to believe that even Vince isn't that inept, but I do. So Jinder's going to win, but I do hope you're right, which leaves us with one match, and I'll give you back the reins here so you could start.
All right, guys, the final match that we're going to talk about, the match that I believe will main event Clash of Champions 2017, is not even a championship match. It's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura, with the GM and commissioner Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon both acting as special guest referees. Now, John, I think you've already told me what you think is going to happen here, so I'm going to go first. I think that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to win, and I think that it's going to be Daniel Bryan making the 3 count, and I think Daniel Bryan might even physically attack Shane McMahon throughout the course of this match to prevent him from making an unfair count.
Interesting. Okay, here's where I'm at now that we're at the big dance here of preview predictions, and I got to lock shit in. I do agree Kevin and Sami are winning, mainly, again, because of the big MMC or CMM or whatever the tournament is that Sami's going to be a part of. You know, they kind of showed their hand a little bit. However, I'm going to take a slightly different route from you. I do agree that Bryan's going to make the count in the interest of just fairness. You know, whatever. He's going to be in the right place, right time, make the count.
But you know what, dude? We might even get a dusty finish here where, like, you know, Randy Orton covers Sami Zayn, but then Kevin Owens covers Nakamura, and Shane counts for Orton, and Bryan counts for Nakamura for Owens, and it just turns out that they both count to 3, and then they ring the bell, and they're holding up different guys' hands, and then they get into an argument with each other, and we have to figure out what actually happened on Tuesday. Then.
Oh shit, that's actually brilliant. Fuck. Because I was going to say, I thought Bryan was going to make the count, but honestly, I think Shane could be disgusted because he secretly really wanted to. Well, I mean, not even secretly. He's been pretty explicit that he just does not think that Kevin and Sami represent SmackDown. And I could see Shane like low blowing or just being aggressive towards Bryan in some fashion because he made the count. And he wouldn't have been able to make the count had he not stuck his nose in it in the first place. Because let's remember, Shane was the only original special guest referee. So I think Shane's going to feel some kind of way, even though Bryan did everything by the book. So Shane's going to come off to me as more of the dick here than Bryan is. And I could just see him being like, why did you do that? I had a chance to get rid of them and you fucking ruined it.
Yep.
The balls, walk out.
Exactly. Yep.
But I love your idea of a dusty finish, though, because that's so WWE. Because they'd be like, oh, tune in on Tuesday and we'll get this all resolved. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with my gut because that is what I was going to say to you and to everybody going into it. So I agree with you that the Kevin and Sami thing is going to happen, but I think, yeah, it's definitely going to be with Shane being more heelish towards Bryan as an end result. And can I just say, too, Kevin and Sami have been so great in this whole thing. That's another reason why I want Raw to use Elimination Chamber to build Roman Reigns instead of the Rumble, because I want to believe that either Sami or Kevin could win the Rumble this year because their work has been so good.
Yeah.
But we are where we
you
are.
picked Sami last year. It didn't really work out too well.
It lasted a lot longer than I thought he would, but lasting long and winning are two different things, and my pride still seeps blood. So yeah, I'm thinking they're gonna win. It'll be a fun match. Again, I wish they didn't kind of show their hand, but I think even in WWE's mind, this is more about the angle. Because here's the thing too that I wanted to say before I hand you the reins back. I think having a heel figure, it's going to make the SmackDown side of the road to WrestleMania more interesting. And I would not be surprised if that was a big angle in and of itself. Like this infighting between Bryan and Shane culminating in something at Mania. And that's not me saying Bryan's going to get back in the ring or anything, out there like that. But I do think this could be the beginning of just a big Mania angle in itself. So we'll just see how it develops.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, man. Well, I'm glad that we got to talk about this, and I'll say I moved up about a half a point. I'm about a 7.5 going into the show now. I feel pretty good about it. How are you feeling? Any change, or are you still stuck?
Honestly, I felt really enthused talking these matches with you. I loved your mindset about AJ Jinder. And thinking about the tag match again, even though I'm a bit salty, like, oh, WWE, why would you use your media this way? Again, I think for them and for everybody, it's more like an angle-based match. Like, who's going to turn heel? What's going to happen? And I think this could be the beginning of a big Mania angle. So I'm really excited for that. Tag title match is looking sick. Even the women's championship match, Riot Squad is doing great stuff. We got Carmella. The US title match, I can't even really make any excuses for because I really don't even see like any possibility there. Mojo's been doing good stuff, which I can't believe I'm saying that and not vomiting. Like, that's a miracle in itself. So yeah, I'm actually feeling really optimistic. I think you and our audience here like really helped with that. So I agree with you. I'm at a 7.5 right now.
I love it. I love that we're on the same page, and I think we agreed on every match but AJ Jinder. That's the only match that we disagreed on. So we're not going to know who wins our little predictions game until we get to that, which is probably going to either main event or semi-main event. So we're going to be waiting a long time for any kind of, differences to appear in our predictions.
That is a game that I will happily lose if it means Jinder Mahal won't be WWE champion.
Yeah, and it's a game that I desperately want and need to win, because if I lose, then not only did I lose, but also Jinder.
Exactly. Ew.
Ew.
All right, man, you can take us home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you all enjoyed. Leave us with your thoughts down in the comments section down below once this video gets fully processed. Remember to like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Of course, once you do, click the little bell icon that pops up to get notifications every time we go live or upload a video. If you're interested in supporting TwitWow, you can either buy merch on our Teespring store with a link in the description, or you can donate to our Patreon. And we're still grinding away, folks. We're still really hoping to get up to that $120 community goal, get some progress live reactions going every week. We're just kind of waiting for someone to put us over that top, over the ceiling, break the ceiling, whatever you want to call it. We're hoping somebody gets in there and either increases their donation or a new person comes in and donates or something, because, man, we're looking forward to progress, but we have a price set and we're not willing to compromise on it. So we're hoping that you guys get us there. Of course, follow us both on Twitter, like the official TwitWow Facebook page, and if you're already on Reddit, check out the TwitWow subreddit. We will see you guys on Sunday for our Clash of Champions live reactions. I'm actually looking forward to this more than the last few pay-per-views, so I'm actually pretty excited, hoping it doesn't let me down, but it's WWE, so you never know what to expect. We'll see you then, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, and of course, remember to stay tuned.